So the margin is 3 points. The Bombers on top as we head down to the boundary line.
We just want to show you, there's Taylor Hunt on screen now. Lingy, what can you tell us about the injury?
Well, he's clearly done his shoulder. We can see it icing up. We don't know how bad yet, Tim, but he's been subbed out of the game, as you can see by the red vest there. Jordan Schroeder's the man, and you can see the incident there just straight away. Knew something was wrong. The docs checked him out, down in the rooms, but no good at all. Couldn't come back out in the ground and has been subbed off, unfortunately.
How will that affect their balance tonight?
Oh, huge impact. David Zaharakis, as Dennis has mentioned, has been absolutely dominating tonight's game. 13 possessions. He was the man who initially went to David Zaharakis, and Zaharakis is running amok. You see on the flip side, Heath Hocking playing a role on Joel Selwood. Joel's only had the 2 touches, so huge impact on the game tonight. On
these really tight, aggressive games, close games, you've really got to impose your will upon the game. I just want to show you some vision. This is David Myers in the first quarter. The kick is from Winderlich. Now, this is going to the Cats. They're going to force a turnover here. Terrific play there by Myers. I mean, so courageous to be able to do that, and that's exactly what you need to be able to do. Cut a kick off like that, but just impose your courage on the game itself, and that was just outstanding play. Goes back and kicks a goal in a very tight game. And you've got to take those opportunities in the tight games. It might only pop up every now and then. Huge game, take your chances.
I have to say, Tommy, you're very good at reading the Geelong tea leaves. What are you reading at the present time?
I think we just saw the stats there, the contested possession. That'd be the one you'd be driving home. I guess when you've been a side that's been dominant for a long period of time, you're coming up against a side that's challenging the mantle. That's the area of the game you want to win, and Chris Scott would have driven that home nice and fast. I think the loss of Taylor Hunt's a big one. Maybe George Hall-and-Smith, who was a rising star as a defensive player against the Swans, could be perhaps the next in line to play a defensive run with.
One of the rare games where the hit-outs are mooing the clearances. Bell Chambers is doing a terrific job in the air, and then the ground level Essendon are getting it as well.
17 plays 14.
Hold! Essendon, hold of the arm. Straight away.
So Bell Chambers gets the free after the opening bounce to the second term. Gives it off. Hibbert pushing up, kicks down towards half forward Cramry. Gee, they look dangerous on the forward line. So much movement. Cramry takes something off the kick. It's ill-directed, though. On a different page to the man he had intended to be on the end of it. Mackey goes short. Bartel, defensive 50. Bartel, nice kick. Podsiadly eases into the marking contest. No contest, really. Wheels around and deals inside the forward 50. Hawkins goes back. Hasn't kicked many goals against the Bombers, but he's got one here. I think it was 8 from 5 games, but that's a beauty.
His third shot on goal tonight, Hawkins, but that was so clever. Really came from a terrible kick from Cranberry. I mean, I'm not sure exactly. I guess I know what he was thinking, but he certainly didn't execute it. And the turnover was oh so easy, and then Podsiadly, and then fascinating marking contest there with Hawkins at centre forward. So just whether or not he transgressed, obviously he didn't. As far as the umpire's concerned, he hooked the ball back and got the goal. Good start for the Cats.
It's interesting here to have a look at what he does. He pushes off, comes back.
So have you taken the mark, Lee? Was it a mark or not? Was it a free kick against him?
Well, he certainly used his body to make sure the Carlisle couldn't get back into the contest. He certainly bumped and blocked a little.
So Goddard, back to Watson, back to Goddard. Kicks to centre half forward. Lee doesn't normally sit on the fence, but I reckon that's a fencer. Here's Hurley, goes back to Myers. There's a left footer and a long left footer and a good one. How about that?
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, well, that was a fantastic goal by Myers. I mean, him getting a couple of goals and pushing forward, that sort of is a bonus. So at the moment, Hurley and Gumbleton aren't marking the ball in the air. Cranwy's looking dangerous. But yes, Myers sniffing in for a couple.
Well, he's only kicked one goal this season, so 2 tonight. Good stuff by Hurley to get it to him, though.
And the intention from Goddard to hit the ball long straight away. I genuinely get the sense that the Essendon forwards feel like they've got an advantage deep forward. Did rebound out and came back in, but you've got some pretty potent forwards up there, the Bombers.
And the clearances then, they become that important for Geelong. If Essendon feel like they have that advantage, well, the best way for Geelong to take it away, win the clearances and get it going forward.
David Myers has got a couple of goals now, pick 6 in the 2007 draft from the Perth Footy Club. And they've been patient with him, the Bombers. Comes across from Johnson to Selwood, smothered off the boot. Christensen grabs it though. Little chip pass down towards right half forward. This is Schroeder. Kicks long down towards full forward. Hawkins puts the body in, move the pack. Loose ball at the back. Well played by Fletcher. Deflected it to Hooker. Hooker gives it to Watson. Watson so cool. Bell Chambers sends it out towards the wing. In front out there was Cramry. Loose ball. Oh, clever Zaharakis. Gave it to Hocking. Now Heppel's away. Gumbleton's drifting to space. Gumbleton's taken the mark 40 metres out.
What a clever kick. Just that ability to have the vision first and foremost to look outside your channel and use your outside of your foot to deliver the ball inside forward 50. Get a good look at it here. Just watch his eyes. Knows where he wants to go. Last minute. Out.
15 gone.
Copybook. Scott Gumbleton. Kicks from right on the 50. Another West Australian puts it through, and suddenly Geelong have got problems.
Well, good response by the Bombers there after the early Hawkins goal.
I was going to say, when Dennis said Geelong got problems, they've got problems about this stage of almost every game they play, but they seem to find a way to find their way back into the game despite being a little behind as you get into the second quarter.
Has been impressive by Essendon each time Geelong scored a goal. They've responded straight away. Sign of maturity.
Tim, has been a tortured journey for Gumbleton so far. This is a massive night for him.
Absolutely, this is the biggest game he's played in a long, long time. Probably the biggest game of his career. And they've shown a lot of faith in him too, in keeping him in the side and not going with Paddy Ryder to know. And he'd be well aware of that.
So he makes the most of that opportunity. But in the back there, so Selwood just starting to get his hands on the ball. Remember in Sydney, halfway through the second quarter, where he just wheeled Geelong and turned a match around Hawkins. Big fly, couldn't get near it. Podsiadly, just a fumble. Well done, though, and Motlock gets behind. Well, it was a soda, wasn't it?
Looks so dangerous with ball in hands. I mean, he fluffed the chance, kicked inaccurately, but he's just his pace to actually give himself that yard or two to balance.
So he's missed a couple of running shots tonight. That one a lot easier than the first one in the opening term.
Fletcher, short.
There's Stevie.
Goddard. Got the opening goal tonight.
Play on.
Told to play on. Ambles away, kicks it outside the defensive 50. Poor kick though. Don't want to play this guy back into the game. Selwood, it was kicked directly to him. Goes short, finds Enright. Enright forward of the wing. Kicked a beautiful goal last week in a milestone game. Goes short to Mackey. Mackey finds himself inside the centre square. Unloads long. They come from all directions. Hibbert. Eyes only for the footy. Bodies clattering to the ground behind him. Steadfastly held his ground, floated in, took the mark. Comes to Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers still inside the defensive 50. Early going second term. The two undefeateds going at it. Essendon so far doing slightly the better. Johnson in from the side. Great mark. Acrobatic. Just controlled his body like a master puppeteer.
And then switches, as he often does, to Mackey. So one triple premiership player to another, to Taylor. And then Taylor just loads it up, sets it to about 10 metres. Hawkins shoves and shoves. And a strong mark by Bell Chambers, and 50.
Really interesting the way Tom Hawkins has decided to play this matchup with Carlisle. He's quite happy to start from behind and try and work Carlisle under the ball. The trouble is, if he doesn't do that, the Essendon players are able to float across the side and take the easy mark, as we saw then.
So that was touched off the boot now. Melsham did well, actually got through and then created space, and Davies on his own. And he'll run on, and the Bombers get a break. They kick away. Well, we've talked a lot about Davey and how brilliant he is in putting pressure when he hasn't got the ball. But he's kicked 14 goals this season.
I reckon you go back to Hibbert though, don't you?
Oh,
He's the one who took the intercept mark 20 metres out, and then Essendon now on the rebound. I must say they got some speed out of when they flow the ball out of their back third, Essendon. Gee, they can carry it.
He's become such an important player, Hibbert, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's a beautiful kick as well. So a little break here for the Bombers.
Most impressive part about Essendon this year has just been their setups around the ground. Bell Chambers knowing what his role is as the ruckman to fill a hole. We spoke about Hibbert also, ability to read the cues and then just spread so aggressively, offensively.
So the margin out to 14 points now. Bell Chambers on the way down to Heppel. Heppel sends it once again inside the forward 50. Mackey flew from behind. Davey onto the loose ball, 70 metres out. Sold Melcham into trouble. And he's bundled across the boundary line by the first gamer. That's Thurlow. 6 possessions in the first term. The boy from Launceston. Fit right in. West having his problems with Bell Chambers. Neither ruckman touched at that time. Heppel courageously into the pack. Kelly into the path of Motlop like a basketballer. Almost dribbled it through the pack. Christensen gives a hand pass away. Blitzarves. Now it's Schroeder. Runs inside the centre square. Sweeping hand pass. Bounced okay. Christensen back into the path of Hall Smith. Under pressure. Snaps and misses out to the right. They did well, pressure the whole way, but they controlled the footy.
She commented well then, Dennis, right at the end as his chase down. It just gave Hall Smith a nervous moment to kick the centre wing. So against Winderlick to Guthrie. So short. Christensen, what a great article Peter Hanlon wrote about Christensen this morning and his father and mother and just the sacrifices and the journey they've made. Not a great kick. Zaharakis. Winderlick strange handball. Back to Christensen. Hocking. Kelly. Inside. Johnson. Clever. Bartel on the burst. Now he may go for goal here, Jimmy. Kicks to full forward. Carlisle work to the front. Bouncing ball. Is it a goal to Smets? No. It's a behind.
Ready, go.
It's a dangerous goal line spoil. They tried to force the ball through from behind both the Essendon Tor defenders, but they almost sort of got in each other's way and the ball fell into the goal square.
Toughest ball to try and execute that when you're going with the flight of the ball. It's just fraught with danger that you'll mistime it. Rarely do you get enough purchase on it to deliver it. Always best to knock it wide.
Fletcher to Carlisle. He's in the back pocket. Told to play on. Kicks under pressure. High ball, well short of the wing. Bell Chambers up, so was Gumbleton. Not necessarily good policy there. Schroeder applies a tackle. Hocking found the loose ball to Zaharakis. Overlapping Melcham goes right across the ground. Real chance here for the Cats, but Guthrie missed the footy. Chance for Winderlick at the back. Under pressure, no one to give off to. Held it a long time. Goes to Hooker. Nonchalantly does exactly that up towards the wing. Leading back is Watson. No money's on Watson. Still he tracks the football. Melcham hand passes to Winderlick. There's a wave of Bombers across the ground, and this man can kick a long way. There goes Hibbert's kick, and it's home. He puts it through. Wonderful stuff from the Bombers. End-to-end stuff at Etihad Stadium.
Haven't they found another one? Yep. That Michael Hibbard. I mean, he has just become the average halfback to an All-Australian in about 6 months.
It's amazing. Lingy floated the idea pre-game about maybe a Hibbard going and tagging an Enright, but Hibbert's doing an Enright.
Oh, yeah.
He's providing them so much run and carry, and he just uses the ball so well.
Gee, it was sensational, wasn't it? I mean, Myers and now Hibbert on the left.
He can kick the ball. He's running off half-back. Myers started in defence. He's kicked a couple of goals, and Hibbert's just pushed up with the flow of the ball, but they got so much run when they carried the ball through the middle of the ground.
And Tom, what about Watson's effort at centre wing? I mean, Dennis said my money's on Watson. That was huge.
Massive. I mean, it's a really important time for the Bombers now to really put a break on the Cats, because we know that the Cats can kick multiple goals in a hurry.
Watson to Melcham. Gumbleton got underneath it. Davey is so quick. Mackey knew it. And Mackey's not slow, but Davey gave him a metre and got in front of him. Watson's imposing himself here. Dennis made the point. No Brownlow medal votes against the Cats.
Geelong have somehow been good, being well down in the clearances, but Essendon have just taken the ball away from them just too quick when they get out in space at the moment.
Mackey sends it outside the defensive 50, off hands at the back. Bagley goes back to Fletcher. Fletcher spots a man up ahead. Hurley, 55 metres out, Hurley. The Bombers looking the better team. 52 metres out now as he kicks. Sharp angle. Gumbleton waits. Tailor-made for Lonergan, just ghosting in. Gets a fist on it, puts it through.
What we're seeing with the Bombers at the moment is a playing group that genuinely has belief in the style of football that they've been taught over a period of time now. And you're getting players like Hibbert, you're getting players like Myers who are starting just to grow and grow and grow in confidence and really enjoying the big stage tonight.
Not long.
Hold there, Mark.
Well, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, aren't they?
Do it on.
It is them against the world in many respects. Motlop Johnson tracks it towards the boundary. Bit of a fumble. Still Johnson. Selwood. No, it's not Selwood. It's fed back out. It's taken by Motlop. Motlop running across half-back. It was Thurlow. Motlop's kick, though, onto the chest of Howlett.
And talking about that belief in your structures, you know you're on song when you're taking the ball off the opposition in your front half of the ground like that.
They tried to create, didn't they, Geelong? But when you kick it from deep in the goal square back in the centre corridor and turn it over.
And that's the way they play. You live and die by the sword. It's been so successful for them. And when they get through, they're able to score so easily. So you've got to wear some of these if you play the way they do.
Ben Howlett, terrific season last year. Unfashionable player. Could it be another Perth boy to kick a goal here? Close to the man on the mark. Kicker's on the way. Swinging left, misses.
When I said you got to wear them, I'm not sure Chris Scott would be all that happy about wearing them.
And Rui, you still got to weigh up, I think, take a calculated risk. That one there by Motlop was just going for too much. You've got to be smarter about that, see the option better, and be a bit smart with the risks you take.
Try to torpedo punch. Here's a good mark by Stokes. That was Bartel, and then Stokes quickly on to Podsiadly, who plays up on the wing a lot, certainly this season. And then Podsiadly, that's a great looking kick to Blitzarves. Well done though, getting back Cranberry. Watson couldn't quite get a handle on it, and Duncan, normally a good kick, and Geelong get the one they needed. Well, he said he wanted to be a bit like Dane Beams this year. He wanted to make the same elevation, Mitch Duncan, from a good player to a very, very good player. He set himself a high task in trying to be like Dane Beams, but he's making progress.
Well, as Nick said, Geelong didn't get scared from the centre corridor turnover. From the behind, Bartel's just gone the big one down the middle. He didn't really get onto it. Unfortunately, it fell into Stokes' hands. Could have been another turnover, but used it well after that.
Well, 3 behinds in 3 minutes. Answered with that goal from Duncan. Grew up barracking for the Bombers. His footy hero was James Hird. Hirdy right there. Watson slaps it forward. Follows up his own earlier work. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hand pass from Podsiadly. Did okay. Stokes with time. Measures the kick. Comes to Taylor. Could he go forward soon? Johnson. Terrible effort. Kicks inside the forward 50. West went down to find it. Couldn't. Hand pass to Hardingham from Hooker. Goes all the way back now to Fletcher. Fletcher. Bit pedestrian Fletcher. That's okay though. Man of his advancing years. Goddard goes back to Hardingham. Hardingham hard against the boundary line. Swings it wide. Bill Chambers in front. And young Thurlow again just plucks it. Gives it away to Kelly. This is easy stuff for the young man from Launceston. Goes short. Finds Taylor. He'll wheel around on his left foot. Hocking was lax on the mark. Kick goes down towards full forward. Launching from behind is Hawkins. Ball off hands and across the line.
They've made the move, Geelong. They've identified their short down back and they're undersized. And James Podsiadly is actually playing at centre half back on Cranberry.
So I was going to say, Bruce, keep an eye on Harry Taylor potentially drifting forward also, but still playing across half-back.
Fletcher picked the wrong man with Blitzarves a moment ago, didn't he, when he tried to get around him. So Carlisle hacking forward to Comma. Well done by Comma. Myers has been so good. And then with a penetrating kick now. Davey will be the danger here. Watch for him. Enright. Well, did it well, Enright. He still might be a danger, Davey. Lonigan on the up. The bounce important. Podsiadly did well. He hacked it forward. Stokes, another important mark. Now, Hawlett-Smith's off the boundary here. Off the interchange. And they're away, the Cats. Don't you go un-Australian on me, Dennis. Hawlett-Smith forward. Hawkins, bouncing ball. Blitzarves and Fletcher. Carlisle and Hawkins. Well done, Carlisle. Off Hocking. Blitzarves over the top. Fletcher to mop up. Only as far as Taylor.
Well, that's not play on. That's 15 metres.
Gee.
Oh, dear.
So not 15. It wasn't touched. So Smits, brilliantly done. Hooking and missing the lot.
Every now and again, doesn't he, Fletch? He just gets rid of the ball out of the back 50 and
so was it touched
off the boot?
Gee.
Must have been
inconclusive, I think, that footage might have been.
But the umpire certainly caught it touched. It went more than 20 metres or more than the 15.
Goddard in the back pocket goes right across the front of goal. Finds Bagley. The margin 14 points. Midway through the term, Bagley very short. That's barely 15. They've got the goal square alongside. You can measure that. It was about 3 metres in from the boundary. He marked about 2 metres beyond the end of the goal square. Never mind, Bagley's got it. Goes across towards Hardingham. That's a beautiful kick. Threaded it down the line. Hocking's got it. Hocking's been very valuable tonight so far. Sends a high ball. Target is Bell Chambers. Almost the mark. Podsiadly knocked it away. Thurlow gives a hand pass to Kelly. Kelly a sweeper towards midfield. Taken by Hall Smith. To the run of Stokes. Stokes spots Selwood and finds him directly in front. 45 metres out. He'll kick from about 52. Well, this is a big kick.
That's it, Joel. Just there.
Margin at 14.
Right on his limit here, I think, Den.
Yes, but sometimes he does what he's not expected to do. Some players do what they can. Often this man does what he can't. Selwood, kick is on the way. Has it got the carry? I think it has. He's done it again. That's remarkable. Joel Selwood kicks the goal.
It's been a good 5 minutes. It's the first time you felt not rattled. I think that's too harsh a word with Essendon, but they've had problems getting it out of the back 50. They sort of went short there. They did get it to a point, but before that they were on the back foot for the first time, I reckon, through this whole match.
Well, one of the things, Geelong, their scoring power in the last 10 minutes of each quarter, beyond the 20-minute mark, they're about 20 goals in credit compared to their opponents over the 6 games.
He's kicked a goal in every match this year, Silver, which is something he doesn't normally do. I mean, that's a fantastic response now by Geelong in the last 5 minutes. They've kicked the last 2. 21 points was the big margin. Went early West. Zaharakis, 13 disposals in that opening turn. And a bit of a change here over the match. So again, Zaharakis. So West wanting to give off. Mackie, Johnson, so involved, fending off. Back it goes to West, and then West gets a bit on it to fall forward. Hawkins outnumbered. Good mark in the front. Taken by Hooker. Carlisle was minding Hawkins. Hooker came in. Heppel. Let's see how the Bombers respond late in the second term.
That ball has to come to ground. Heppel sends it up towards the wing. Johnson again. Sends it inside the forward 50. Ill-directed though. His kicking hasn't been good tonight, Steve Johnson. The mark is taken by Hooker.
He's always happy to go onto his left foot, Johnson, but I still think he makes a lot of errors or just doesn't make good contact left foot.
Hibbert to Carlisle, 2 emerging stars in defence for the Bombers. Myers, who's booted a couple of goals, just taking the sting out of the game right now.
Cats need to press right up here and cover all exit areas.
High ball, close to the boundary line. Enright got first hands to it. Podsiadly lurking in front of the pack. Down towards the pocket. The mark is taken by Duncan. Looks towards the middle. Plenty to choose from. Decides on the first gamer. Anointed him and kicked the ball directly to Thurlow.
And the man who got the entry there, James Podsiadly, he's had a big influence since he's gone back. He's had the 6 touches this quarter, but really set them up. A smart move. They were undersized down back, getting Podsy down there, and he's doing a great job.
Lonergan did well on the outer side as well. That searching hand pass out of the congestion, sending them away. Jackson Thurlow, 45 metres out. Family came over from Tasmania today to watch the game, and he misses.
Good test for the Bombers now. We've all marvelled how well they've developed and had a 6-zip start. They've got to continue to attack the game here. You can't afford to just put the cue in the rack. Be more assured coming out of the back line like they were early in the game.
So nothing gained there, Carlisle. Back to Goddard. Hibbert now. Hibbert can break a line and kick a long ball, but he decides to slow it down and then comes wide with that long kick. Bell Chambers flew well done by West. Kelly copped the high one. Heppel getting down low. Terrific tackle by Kelly, but it was a high. Free kick to Heppel.
Back. Guys, clear out. Johnson Heppel.
So Heppel wasted the last ball he had here. He wants to go short. Well, Ben back to Carlisle. Not sure if this is working all that well. Now they may open up. Hibbert can go out to Hardingham. Now Hardingham, again Geelong able to hold them up for the moment. Hardingham into Myers. Now Myers, that long left footer. Can he get enough on it? Well, the kick's poor and Lonergan marks it. So Essendon their disposal that we talked about, Tom, earlier being so efficient as letting them down.
Not looking as assured with the ball in hand coming out of the back line at the moment, Bruce. It's that, I guess, that mental maturity, the way they're going to improve.
Motlop, how is that? Found it on the deck. The ball hadn't bounced to about waist high, and he had it again. Smith squares it across the ground. Zaharakis is dried up in this term. Just the one possession. Taylor looking for the leading player. It was Stokes, got hands to it, couldn't take it. Coming through is Fletcher. He kicks it up towards the wing, and Cramry. They need a goal now, Essendon. They're absorbing a lot of pressure. Gumbleton, fingertips to it, spills behind. Thurlow again. Podsiadly, Kelly, been terrific. Johnson, thought about laying it off, almost back into the clutches of Hocking. Thurlow, Podsiadly.
Oh, there's Scott.
Will he go down the line or change things? He'll change things. He goes to the middle. Smith can take it and go. Short one is on. Stokes comes up, takes the mark. Suddenly it's Geelong who are running. Mackey takes off from behind the play. He could be involved. No. Well, that was a shocking kick. Went directly to Hurley, who squares the ball. Zaharakis, I just mentioned him, only his second possession of the term.
Goes short to Goddard, to Harding. Now they create here. Can he get the ball to Davey? It's a terrible kick again. They keep on missing targets, the Bombers.
I think it's the pressure of Geelong, though. They're really pushing up hard and not giving us a great leap, wasn't it, by not a lot, but really making the difficult targets, and Essendon are not able to handle that pressure.
And in the first half of the quarter, Essendon, they were inclined to go really quickly once they created a turnover. They just seem to be holding themselves up at the moment. I think that's playing into Geelong's hands.
Zaharakis just hacked it out. Johnson. So still with Johnson. Well, he set Smith the task there, Johnson. Just sometimes he makes those decisions that are just too creative and complex. So Guthrie's free kick, so the Cats get out of it. Can they hit the front by half-time? You feel they're closing so quickly here.
9 possessions for Stevie J in this term. Thurlow, forward of the wing, high ball from behind. The big leap comes from Lonigan. Well, he's been defending stoutly on the outer side wing. They weren't getting enough up forward, so he's decided, well, I'll go down there and help them out.
This picks the ball, isn't it? One of their big defenders drifts into the forward line. Shows the forwards how to do it.
Well, he started, didn't he, Tommy, as a forward?
He kicked the first goal in 2008 grand final, and he was certainly drafted as a key forward and then moved back. Pretty much for a necessity for the team, really, and he's developed into a top-class defender, but he attacked the ball like a key forward then.
No doubting this man's courage. Testimony to courage. In he comes. Kick is on the way, and it's good. There's a point the difference. Whoa, they've come back. There is nothing better in our game than to watch this from the beginning to the end. Lonigan in a pack of players. Hawkins is there as well. He has to beat his teammate and anybody else who wants to come and have a dip at it. That was a terrific mark by Tom Lonigan. And the goal has put his team within a point. 2 minutes out from half-time.
It's one of those really enjoyable run back to your, you see the inside 50s there. That certainly shows the momentum of the game. But Tom Lonigan got the glory run from full forward all the way back to full back.
He spread those fingers, Tom, didn't he? He came with those fingers spread as he took that mark. Almost broke his own webbing, I reckon. Kick comes down inside the forward 50. Charging out was Davey. Going to ground was Kelly. Christensen gets a hand pass. Zaharakis, Melksham. Bombers in front still. Almost forgotten in all of this. Oh, that's a good kick into the 50. And Davey with a chance to extend the lead so close to half-time.
Good centre bounce clearance win. I mean, when you get that centre bounce clearance, it gives your forwards the best opportunities to find a hole into the foot. I mean, it's like two good teams. It goes in ebbs and flows. Essendon have a good 10 minutes. Geelong then have a good 10 minutes. That's just what good teams do. Just keep at it.
This has been a remarkable story. He was there for forward pressure. Now he's there to do exactly, well, no. We'll start again. He's there to kick goals.
One thing we see is small forwards become targets in the forward 50 as well.
Yep.
And with the zoning that goes on, often they're the actual best target on, not necessarily the big fellas.
Guthrie and Johnson getting their own game going. Bartel goes back. Mark is taken by Enright. Skipping a jump, Enright to centre half back and Stokes. We're down to 40 seconds now.
Play on, yours.
And they're playing as if they know that, although that's a dangerous kick. They've done a couple of those. Eventually it comes across to Enright to Johnson. Johnson runs through the centre square then. Searching kick. Podsiadly was up. Couldn't hang on. Flinging it out of the pack was Hawkins. Knocked away by Hardingham. Hawkins grabs the football. Trying to crash his way through as Crameri. That's a throw. And it will be a free kick and will go Geelong's way. And against all the odds, they've got a chance of leading at half-time. They trailed by 21 points midway through this term.
Great effort by Schroeder on the stronger man in Cranberry there. But what we saw was the difference between the mindset of the two defences. When Geelong had the ball, they were playing tempo, but they were moving the ball forward and gained some meterages.
Oh, Schroeder started as the sub.
Right on the mark.
Required to kick a goal after the siren. Has got everything. Schroeder comes in and he doesn't let his team down. He puts it through. Terrific. Geelong 49, Essendon 45. After the siren, playing only his second game, Jordan Schroeder puts it through. This game promised plenty, and tonight it has delivered.
So there you go, 4 points the difference. Right on the siren, a goal to the Cats. They kicked the last 4 goals of that quarter from the 15-minute mark. They bombed it in a fair bit. Davey had a chance late for the Bombers, but they really bombed it in there, the Cats, and maybe in the last couple of minutes could have kicked a few more goals. They're back in town in a big way after Essendon got out to a lead of 18 points at the 12-minute mark. So up to the 15-minute mark, Bombers by 18. But another quarter, or another half of the second quarter, and it was back to even Stevens again.
Gutsy call by Chris Scott to shift Podsiadly back and Harry Taylor forward. You were wrapped with that because you thought he was going to get another goal, and then Lonergan took a grab at the top of the square late in that quarter as well. So.
We spoke about swingmen before the game, Roo, and in the first half, Hibbert and Myers scored from the defensive end from the Bombers, and then Lonergan gets that one, and you mentioned Taylor. 10 minutes 30 to go in the second quarter, that move was made.
You've got to admire the Bombers. They've been sensational. They moved the ball well. They played a one-on-one style. They stopped the Cats running through the middle of the ground. They forced them to kick long into a big packs. Not what they'd like to do. Actually, not what they'd like to do. And all of a sudden, they led the game.
Hold that thought there, Roo. I know you've got something for me. Let's have a look at the highlights so far to half-time of this game. But let's pick through them. First of all, the first goal came in the first minute of the play, and Blickhouse got one and put it through. Goddard was the next player to score. It was goal for goal in the first quarter. Cats, Bombers, and Brendan Goddard was able to pull one in here at the back. Beautiful mark flying in on his chest, and from pretty much point-blank range went back and put it through. Taylor Hunt did his shot. We'll have a good look at this a little bit later on, but this was an early sub. It was just cleaned up there, going through Melksham. Gave him a good hip and shoulder. Nothing untoward about that. That was just on the point of the shoulder, and he sub-luxed it by the looks of things there, and he is off with the red shirt on and the ice pack on. Dr. Maguire giving you a subluxation of the shoulders there. Look at me. I'll fix up your gat for you too, Silas, if you want.
I don't think so.
In the second quarter, Hawkins, we'll have a good look at that one from the other angle. That was good body work. Maybe technically not correct, but anyway, he got the goal. Beautiful on the turn. Fantastic goal. This is the players that Jono was talking about. Myers off a step. Really good. Probably playing his best half of football of his career so far in a pressure game. Then Davey picked one up, just lurking at the back. He snuck out. Really should have had a second one later in the quarter, which would have just about paid his wages for the week. Hibbert's goal was a beauty. Look at this. On the run, left foot, 52 metres out, straight through the middle. No need to touch that one. That's a goal. Podsiadly under Crameri was a good move, started to give the Cats some run out of defence, and then Lonergan, they kept bombing it in. It was like kick to kick, Jack in the pack as they call it these days, and Lonergan was Jack on this occasion and went back and slotted it. They got a goal on the side and through Schroeder from a free kick, and it was the Cats by 4 points, 7-7-49 to the Bombers 6-9-45. The Cats hitting the front there, as I said, right on, in fact, after the siren, after the bell, and a pretty good effort. Both sides, even Stevens, we've got a game on our hands, boys. Simple as that.
Have we ever? Belchamber's been good in the ruck. They've been dominated in hit-outs. They dominated in clearances, and then they've used the ball well to be able to get clear. But Geelong are just fantastic late in that quarter. I think the inside 50s in that last half of the quarter was 10-2 and kicked about 3 or 4 goals in time on.
Mark, let's roll the videotape. You've loved the pressure. Both sides are really getting in there. This is top of the ladder football at its best on the small ground, right into each other. Look at this, the pressure right from the word go.
Oh, it's hard at it, and that's what you want from your best teams. I mean, that's why they're good, because they can cope with it. And you watch Geelong, they sucked it up. They were 4 goals down at one stage, almost that far, and then blew them away in that last 10 minutes. You could just see it coming. They just never give up. And that's what you like about really good sides. And we'll see it happen again 2 or 3 times during the game.
I've loved Essendon's composure. You know, you usually see a side that's sort of on the move. They come unstuck sometimes, but their composure's been great tonight. And let's have a look at their forwards. They too have had good entries. I think we heard our commentators earlier say they just kept they lifted their eyes and hit the right targets. They weren't just blazing away. Davy's been lively. To harp on the point, if he had to just kick that last goal, would have made a big difference from going in at half time.
Their forwards just keep coming at the ball, Ed. You watch them there, Cranmery, and also your Gumboots comes at the ball, and their smalls do as well, and they make space. When you come at the ball, they make space behind for someone else to lead in on angles, and that's what we're seeing.
And that's the difference at the other end of the ground, where Hooker and the other tall defender, Fletcher was the other one, and getting back and helping out, getting in front of Hawkins on a number of occasions where they've got to start to change that up. The Cats have got to lower their eyes a little bit more, and they did that late in the second quarter.
Yeah, Hebble's pass there was a beauty just on the outside of his boot. Melksham again, instead of blazing away, looked up, saw the black and red there, and just kicked beautifully to position. You know, you could see he was lining up thinking, eyes lit up, I'm going to go for home here. Saw his teammate and picked it out. Roo, let's an injury early on, Taylor Hunt. Bad one there. As I said, I'm having a guess at a subluxation of the shoulder.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Wasn't the stinger, which means he could have come back on a little bit later on, but there's a little bit more to it, a little bit of separation, I think, there.
It's just the angle, wasn't it, Ed, on that occasion? He just dropped down low and Melksham just got him right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, and
we thought he was going to be the man to go to Zaharakis before the game, and Zaharakis got 13 in the first quarter.
He had 16 for the game.
And he got 3 in the second quarter, so I don't know who went to him in that second quarter, but certainly didn't have as big a second term.
Schroeder came in as the substitute and kicked the goal after the siren to put the Cats in front at half-time. All right, it's been the talking point all week. Let's go to school on some of the pushing, marking contests. We won't be too pedantic here, but there's a little bit of a push, little push in the back.
I would have thought so. And he
paid
got paid
beautifully. Umpire right on the spot.
Okay, correct decision. I think that's the way to talk through it, whether they're correct or not. This one here.
Push out. Chambers.
Did he have his arms extended, Ed?
Jeez, I tell you what.
They looked like it to me. That was a push out there too.
By the rules, that's a free kick. Correct. But it shouldn't be.
But it shouldn't be. And I think that's where we all agree. And we were talking upstairs while that in live action.
Because what he did there is he extended his arms, and that's what they said is a free kick. But if that was a free,
no one actually knows.
Turn it off.
That's the worst part. No one knows.
Well, if they do, they're not paying it.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway,
no consistency.
Patrick, clear it up next week.
Patrick Smith, another column.
Hey, can Patrick umpire? Patrick Smith, do you think he'd be able to umpire?
Oh, he could.
I think he could. Yeah.
Moves pretty well.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Why not? I'll get him in. All right, it gives him another column next week anyway.
Exactly.
Certainly Geish will get back on. He's got more airtime than me these days. He's killing them. All right.
That's impossible.
It is. Geelong Cats, 7-7-49. They just don't go away, this team. They're fantastic. They lead by 4 points. The Bombers 6-9-45. It's been everything we could have hoped in this game. The pressure's been right on. Will one team crack? We'll go to the war room right after this and find out.